Guys, yesterday was Apple's keynote and they finally announced the Apple AirTag. After watching the keynote and checking out the AirTag specs and detail page and doing some of my own research, I made a video for you guys about everything that you need to know about the Apple AirTags and why they're going to be a game changer. But after doing that video, I realized there are definitely some things missing from the Apple AirTags. Today, we're going to discuss all the things that are missing from the Apple AirTags. Let's jump into the video. Now, I've tested just about every Bluetooth tracker that has ever come on the market in the last 6 to 7 years, like names from Tile and Chipolo and Tracker and a bunch of other ones, but those are the three major big ones. Now I'm going to be checking out the Apple AirTag. So obviously I've seen a lot of different features and models over the past 7 years. Some I've liked and others I haven't. One of the biggest ones that people have been asking me lately is if you can actually ring your phone from your Apple AirTag. Like Tile and Chipolo and Tracker, you can press a button on your Bluetooth tracker and it'll make your phone ring. So when you misplace your phone in the couch, but you still can find your keys, you can double press a button on your key ring or your Bluetooth tracker and find your phone very easily. Apple did not mention this feature at all in the keynote and I couldn't find anything in the specs page or the press release. I hope this is a feature they just forgot to mention because this is something I've seen in almost every Bluetooth tracker currently on the market. I know there's other ways to ring your phone remotely, maybe from an iPad with the Find My app or iMac. Other family member phones with the Find My app can all ring your phone remotely, even if it's on vibrate. The next thing that's missing from the Apple AirTags is some type of attachment point, either a keyring hole or a lanyard. Almost every Bluetooth tracker I've tested has some way to attach your keys to it or put it on a purse or some book bag, and the few that didn't came with little adhesives, and unfortunately Apple is coming up with their own accessories to charge you extra money. The cheapest loop or keychain from Apple is $29. I think they go up to $39. That's not even if you get into the, what's it called? The Hermes, I forget how you pronounce it. That's in the hundreds of dollars. That's a whole nother level of accessories. Of course, there's gonna be the aftermarket stuff that's gonna be much cheaper. Belkin's gonna have their $12 or $13 key ring. There's some more like middle line from Nomad. I also saw some stuff from Moment that had some type of adhesives that you can glue it onto camera equipment. And talk about Nomad, they have this sunglass strap that goes around, and in the back is where you place your Apple AirTags attached to the strap. So when you take it off, the sunglasses are attached to a strap, and if you happen to leave them, you can find them later because there's an Apple AirTag attached to that strap, which I thought was pretty cool. Nevertheless, Apple should put an attachment point on it. I've seen smaller Bluetooth trackers with lanyards on it, and if they could do it, Apple could definitely do it. And when it comes to the battery, they really didn't show how you unscrew it or pop it off. There was a video that was released today. I'm not quite sure if it was Apple or if someone came up with it. I can't source it yet, so I'm not sure if it's actually real or not, but you actually unscrew it. You take off the metal piece off the plastic and you place the battery, put it back on, which Apple claims it will last about a year or so. But what they haven't said is how you're gonna know that you need to replace that battery. Are you going to get a notification when the battery level actually drops down? Is the battery level really at 25%? Is it at 10%? Is there going to be a actual percentage that you're going to be able to see? Or is it going to be more time-based and say around 11 months, it's going to give you a reminder to change out that battery? They just haven't said yet. I do like how it's a user replaceable battery, unlike Tile's first Bluetooth tracker that you threw away when it died about 11-12 months. And still to this day, they still have two models that you throw away. You can't replace the battery, both in the Tile Slim and the Tile stickers. Yes, in the Tile Pro and the Tile Mate, you can replace the batteries now, but they still have those other models that you throw away every 3 years or when the battery dies. At least Apple did put a battery in there, they know that's better than throwing away the entire device. But what I think is missing here is an opportunity to come up with a wireless rechargeable battery. I would like to see the Apple AirTags to be wireless rechargeable, where you put it down on a Qi charger and charge it up. Even if the battery life was cut in half to 6 months, it's still been nicer to recharge it wirelessly rather than throwing away batteries every year. There's actually only one Bluetooth tracker currently on the market that has wireless recharging. It is called the Safe Dome. It's a wallet Bluetooth tracker, so it's very, very thin. I think it's like 1.5 millimeters thin, perfect for your wallet. I forget the battery life, but I've done a full review of it. So if you're interested in wireless recharging Bluetooth trackers, I'll definitely leave a link up there for you to check it out. Now let's say that you lose your Apple AirTag, but you know it's within Bluetooth range. It's somewhere in your house. Most Bluetooth devices, they say is about 30 feet to 40 feet inside, because you got the walls, you got electrical wires, you have copper pipes, you have lights in the middle of your room. There's a lot of different things. You have Wi-Fi signals, cell phone signals. There's a lot of different things in your house that really cuts down the Bluetooth range. Unfortunately, Apple has not mentioned anything about distance. Most other Bluetooth trackers give some type of estimate of their max distance. Unfortunately, inside your house, you're not going to get the max distance. When they're talking about max distance, it really means line of sight with nothing in between. I've actually done a bunch of distance tests on Tile, Chipolo, Tracker, and a bunch of other ones. Most of them in the max distance test do pretty well. Some are kind of disappointing, but in the last few years, they've really blown it up, where I'm getting distances of 400, 500, 600 feet. Now understand, you're going to get different results in your testing and depending on what's going on in your area. And obviously, if you're in the house, you're going to get much lower distance, but I still would like to have heard what Apple thinks the max distance is. Now, I'm assuming that it's actually using Bluetooth 5.0, which is another thing that is missing off the spec sheet. They have mentioned it is Bluetooth. I'm assuming it's 5.0 because it's 2021 now, and I don't think they would use 4.0. And who knows if there's a 6. I haven't heard about it yet. Maybe there is. But I would still like to know what type of Bluetooth is, just to confirm that it's Bluetooth 5. But I'm not actually sure it is 5, but I hope that it is. Now, there's another technology in the Apple AirTag called ultra wideband, or UWB, that's going to allow you to really get directional directions of where your Apple AirTag is. Unfortunately, you need an iPhone 11 or better, 11 Pro, 12, 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max. It's got to be one of the newer phones with a U1 chip. All the U1 chips have ultra wideband, which is required to use the ultra wideband both in the Apple AirTags and also in the brand new HomePod Mini, which we'll discuss in a minute. But with the ultra wideband, you actually get directional and how far from you. So it points you in the right direction and tell you how far you need to go. Now, the thing here that is missing is, once again, they don't tell you how far UWB can go. Well, I've actually tested another Bluetooth tracker with ultra wideband in it called the Pixie. This came out a couple years ago and kind of fell off the market, but I did get my hands on one and I tested it for a couple months. And I noticed that the ultra wideband is about the same as Bluetooth. You're going to get about 30 to 40 feet indoors. And unfortunately, I never tested it outdoors, but the specs did say it worked about 100 to about 120 feet outdoors. So I would like to see what Apple says about the ultra wideband and about the distance. Is it about the same? Is it more than Bluetooth? I just don't know, and I would like to know. Next on the missing list is some type of out of range notification. Now, that particular name is from Chipolo. They have a feature called out of range notification. So if you happen to leave your keys behind, say at a restaurant, and you start walking to your car, you're going to get a notification on your phone to let you know that you left your keys behind. Tile has a very similar feature called Smart Alert. Unfortunately, their distance between the two devices is a little bit further. It's about a mile. I don't know why it's so far. Sometimes I might leave my wallet at home and I'm miles and 2 miles down the road and I get a message that I left my wallet at home, then I have to go back. And unfortunately they charge for this. They charge $2.99 a month or about $30 a year, which I think is just crazy. It is bundled together with a couple other services, which they call Tile Premium. Chipolo has a better out-of-range notification and doesn't charge a thing. And unfortunately, Apple made no mention of such service or feature. I would love for the Apple AirTags to have this. It is something I use both with Tile and Chipolo, and I must use it at least once a week. Yes, having the Find My and the ringing is definitely a great feature, but not losing your Bluetooth tracker in the first place is definitely a huge benefit. Please, 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 please. And last but not least, the one other missing thing from the Apple AirTags is some clarification or expansion on ultra wideband. Yes, you can use ultra wideband to get directional and distance of your Apple AirTag, but when you include the Apple AirTag, the HomePod Mini, your brand new iPhone 12 with the U1 chip, and I think even the brand new Apple Watch all have ultra wideband. When you put those together, it is definitely a huge game changer. You'll be able to automate your home depending on where your devices are, where your AirTag is, where your phone is, where your watch is, where the HomePod Minis are. Say for instance, your kid comes home, has an Apple AirTag in her book bag, but instead of going into the kitchen and actually doing her homework right after school, she puts her book bag down into the living room and forgets about it. And then say 5 or 10 minutes later, you can have a light flash red and a small little message broadcasting, hey, don't forget to do your homework. And you can put an AirTag maybe on a pet. Even though I don't recommend Bluetooth trackers on pets, they're just not gonna help you find a lost pet fast enough. Most of the time when pets get lost, they wanna stay away from people. And with a Bluetooth tracker, it's just not gonna get close enough to people with phones. So I don't recommend them for pets, but for an indoor pet or for automation, knowing that it's just to automate something in the house, I'm totally for it. Let's say for instance, you put your dog out back. I have a fenced in yard, and sometimes when the weather's nice, I might leave the door open. When the dog comes back in and she's wearing an Apple AirTag, it'll know that she's back in the house and it'll let me know or send a message or flash a light to let me know to go close the door. Or possibly the ultra wideband that's in your phone or in your Apple Watch. When you sit down on the couch, it's gonna know that you're on the couch and to dim the lights and turn on a TV. Things like this is just the tip of the iceberg. The uses that people come up with a little imagination and some experience are just mind-blowing. And I look forward to seeing what people do with the ultra wideband because I really do think it's a game changer. But in all honesty, I don't think that's gonna be coming for a couple years now. I think people have to get used to just a normal Bluetooth tracker. What might be possible in a year or two is, say for instance, you lose your iPhone in one room, you go to Siri in another room, and instead of just ringing your phone so you can listen for it, it can actually tell you what room it's in. Same thing for your Apple Watch or your AirTag. Say your AirTag is on your keys, ask Siri, where are your keys? And instead of just ringing it, it will actually tell you it's in the kitchen. But with all these things missing, I still think the Apple AirTag is going to be a huge game changer. It has ultra wideband, it has a billion other devices all looking for your lost device. It only costs $29 for one or $99 for 4-pack. And yes, it's missing a bunch of things that other Bluetooth trackers have, but this is their first model from Apple. Apple is going to be testing this and seeing what people like, what they don't like. I'm sure there's going to be some good news, some people finding their misplaced things, and I'm sure there's going to be some bad news of how people are taking advantage of an Apple AirTag, even though Apple is taking privacy super serious, because privacy, of course, is a fundamental human right, and putting a tracker on somebody unknowingly is definitely wrong, and Apple has definitely addressed that. But I do think they will be successful. There will be a new model in a year or two, maybe something thinner, maybe some other features. Who knows what the future holds. All I know is I'm super excited for Apple AirTags that's going to be here in about a week or so. What do you guys think is missing from the Apple AirTags? Did I miss something here about missing something on the Apple AirTags? I would love to hear from you. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at ModernDayTech, and I will see you on the next video. I'm out.